They've shown me who they are, and so now I have to treat them accordingly. It's that simple. It's like, do something before you're complaining. And if that's how they're gonna play, I hope they leave single. I said what I said. Hi people, welcome back. If it's your first time, my name is Talia Adewale and this is Despite Them. Today we're talking about Heart Signal 2. Yes, I'm finally getting into it. Before we get into it fully, like the video, subscribe, leave your comments. I know a bunch of you have seen this. It's been a minute now, so I'm hoping that this is kind of like a refresher and like down memory lane for everybody who watched this when it first came out. But yeah, let's get into the review. It's gonna be review recaps, and then I think I'll do a reaction for like the final episode. Maybe, to be honest, we'll just play it by ear as we go. I started this, and then I realized that I actually did start reactions to this like 6-7 months ago, and it just, I don't know, maybe it hit me on the wrong day or something. I don't know. Sometimes shows just never, they don't appeal to me during a certain period, and then I leave it for a bit, go back, and I watch it and I love it. Like, it's just that. But I started the reaction for this. I went, I think, about 30 minutes because I saw J-Ho and I remembered how I felt instantly when I was doing my reaction. And then I stopped for some reason. I really cannot tell you why, guys. But I'm happy that I watched it today. Let me put a disclaimer on here now because I'm going to be having some very strong opinions about some people that you guys may or may not like. It is just about the show. I'm commenting on the events of the show and what they're showing us. Most times it's on the events of the things going on in the show. So I'm putting that out there because 2 people already started annoying me in this episode. And if you know, you know. It's not deep-rooted yet, but I have a feeling that if they continue the way they are going, I'm going to not like them by the end of the series. And they're too beautiful to be disliked. But it's just a disclaimer. If I don't like somebody that you guys like, please don't take it personal. And if I like somebody that you don't like, please don't take it personal. It's just a show. We can dialogue, we can comment, you can disagree with me respectfully as I disagree with you respectfully. It doesn't have to be a fight. With that said, let's get into it. So we are introduced to the singles. Our first on the scene was Youngju. And I wrote very cute, seemed like someone who was popular or would be popular because she's stunning. She was very classy. I kind of liked it. That uphill trek in those hills were harsh. I don't know why. I said this in my siblings' romance reaction. They always make them go uphill and it's not necessary. We don't need the long shots. We're going to be spending 16 to 20 episodes with these people. Just get them in the fucking house and that's it. It wasn't fair. They don't need to always go uphill. Come on, guys. She gets a tour of the house because she's been there. I think she said she was there for about 30 minutes or something like that before the second guy came and before the second person came. Second person was Do-gyun. And I wrote shy but cute. And he, I don't know what it is about him, guys. He is like one of the most shy people. That awkwardness in the first meeting, it's usually always awkward, but he managed to amplify the awkwardness in their first meeting in that house. It was really bad. But there's something about him, guys. The more I see him, the more like he shows this quiet strength. There's just something about him. I'm very drawn to him, guys. I'm just going to tell you now. He seems like somebody that I have my eye on. I feel like he has this quiet, manly thing going on for him. And he's actually really handsome. He's actually cute. She said something about we're going to be spending Christmas and New Year here and it should be fun. And he does not respond. I swear down. They need to normalize saying, I'm very awkward, I'm very shy, which is why I'm quiet. That helps cut tension. They need to train all these people, especially the really shy ones. Because the way he sat there and didn't say anything, it was terrible, man. Then we get another guy and it was J-Ho. And him, I remember because I remember him being very cute when I did my reaction a while ago. And I liked him based on the first 30 minutes that I watched. I'm not really sure how that's going to develop. He seems to have like this dry wit comedy talkative thing going for him, but there's also something very endearing about him, and I think that he will either be extremely popular with the girls or he will completely turn off all the girls. It's either or, but I do think that there is something there. There's something about him that's very endearing. Next was another guy and it was Gyubin, and for him I wrote serious, but then he smiled and I was like, oh, he's cute when he yet. I can't really get a read on him. He almost seemed like he was slightly mocking J-Ho a little bit. It wasn't like outward, slashing down like Sung Lee. But in the statements that he was making, the questions, the way he was asking the questions, his mannerism, I feel like he was slightly mocking J-Ho. Nah, it wasn't anything that rang bells, guys. It wasn't anything serious. But it was something that I clocked and it's something that I wanted to watch. When J-Ho came in and he and Youngju were looking at each other, I thought that it was love at first sight. I even wrote it. I was like, was it love at first sight? And then they now break it down that they actually know each other and they apparently went to the same high school or something like that. So I was like, oh, maybe it's a high school crush that can get, rekindled. But by the end of this episode 1, I don't think those people like each other. I don't know what happened in that high school, but I don't think they able to see each other, which is interesting to me. So next person was a girl and it was Hyungju. And for her, I just wrote sophisticated. Girl is stunning. She's beautiful. And I could not help but root for her by the end of this episode, and we'll get to it. Stunning. When she came in, it looked like all the guys were very registered, like they were in tune with her, they were watching her very closely. Gyubin, that's his name, right? No, sorry. Who the fuck is... All right. Sorry. Do-gyun. I will get used to these names eventually. Do-gyun was actually proactive this time around. He stood up, he offered to get her water and everything. He hadn't done that for anybody. When Hyungju came in, where did I write it? Number 5, bar? Yes. You could just see a little bit of Youngju's shine dull a little bit. It's almost like she felt instantly threatened by another girl in the room, and I'm like, okay, it's not like the guys were all checking up for you anyway, so why are you so bothered? But I guess it's because she could see the switch. All the guys were very attentive to Hyunjun. Do-gyun, who has been there with her and didn't say one word, offered to go and get this girl water. So I get it, but it's like, it's only day 1. Chill. Like, she had already started souring at that point, and it just got worse as the episode went on. Hyungju is beautiful, man. She's bubbly, she's engaging, she's very friendly, she's easy to talk to. Like, it was just check. She had all the check marks, and I was loving it for her. Next was Daeyoon, number 6, right? Yes. So Daeyoon, and I wrote pretty for her because she was actually stunning. When she came in, it looked like J-Ho was actually really enthralled. And I was trying to say enthralled and enthralled. And entranced? And enthralled? Are those words? I don't know. He was very fixated on her. He was proactive this time. He stood up and he went to get water while simultaneously still staring at her in the living room. He was very much attracted to this girl. Daeyoon says that Hyungju looks like IU. Don't know why she brought that up. I mean, I can see the resemblance, but it almost... I thought it was innocent at first, and then later on, some of the comments that she made, I was like, oh, it's a backhand comment, isn't it? But anyways, I almost called her IU. Hyunjun seemed a little embarrassed by that, and then they all do a tour of the house, so we see the house. I don't really care about the house. I also don't care about the hosts, guys. I was skipping them like no man's business because we're here for our own views. Which other host did I care less about? I think it was Exchange. Does Exchange have hosts? Yes, they do. I actually like those ones though. I like those guys. I think it was My Siblings Romance China, which those shows will not be continuing, guys. We'll see how this one does. If it doesn't have, like I said, if it doesn't have at least 100 views within the first 48 hours, it gets dumped, guys. We're not wasting time with time wasters. It's that simple. If nobody's watching, I'm not doing it. It's that simple. I'd rather do things that you guys will watch. Then they decide on the cooking team and they play this game. They have to open a magazine and count the people. So J-Ho is the first person, and he really, really wanted Daeyoon, but unfortunately, I guess he got Hyungju, who wasn't who he wanted. So I thought maybe they were okay with it because the rest of the team were playing games in the living room. J-Ho was consistently looking out at Daeyoon in the living room, but so was Gyunbin, who was also consistently looking at Hyungju in the kitchen. And I guess it bothered him enough. He had to look for ways. That's Gyunbin now. Had to look for ways to go and just be in the same space as Hyungju, because he went there, he got water, he was chatting with Hyunjun. I liked it. I was like, yeah, go where you want to be proactive, you do you. And Daeyoon was also checking out for Jaeyoon, but she sat in the living room, and I was like, okay, I get it that maybe you're pretty on the outside and, you know, people come to you, but you came on this show for a reason. go get your mans. Like, I don't understand why people will come here and now be forming, I'm shy, you come to me, I know I'm pretty, you come get me. It's like, if I hope never to be, but if I were single, guys, and I went on one of these shows, I would be proactive AF. I won't be proactive to the point of being aggressive. I'm kidding. But if I see somebody I like, I will make it known so that there's no miscommunication. If you don't like, we move. We'll be like a G1 from Heart Pairing. You don't like me, I text the next guy. You don't like me, I text the next guy. Simple. It's not a problem, but I'll be proactive because I know sitting down waiting in the corner is where I'll be growing mushrooms while other people are taking the men that I like. I'm just saying, eventually they all end up in the kitchen, right? With the two other girls, Youngju and Daeun, doing the rolled omelette on the side, and all the boys kind of flocking around Hyungju. Now this is where you start to see. Have you seen Insidious? I think it was Insidious 2 where they were at the dining. I don't watch horror movies, guys, but this movie it petrified me for life. I don't know what I was doing. I was forming my crushes watching it. Let me watch. Who sent me message? Never again. But there's this dining table scene, and they're just sitting at the dining table, and the creature, like, you just see the hand on the shoulder, and then he pops his head out. It is one of the most frightening things I've ever seen. That was the jealous monster, the envy monster, whatever you want to call it. That was how the monster got claws into these girls while they were cooking that omelette. And they were just seething towards Hyungju. And in my head, I'm like, if you guys focused more on appealing to the people that you were actually interested in, like for Daeun, if she had said, Hyunjun, come over here and help me out with this rolled omelette, instead of focusing on the fact that the boys were all flocking towards Hyunjun was just being herself. I get it. Sometimes females like that can be seen as contrived, right? I get it. But personally, to me, Hyunjun was just being herself. She wasn't faking it. She wasn't laughing, like forcing laughter. She wasn't forcing anything, any conversation or anything. She was just being herself. And they were flocking towards her. And these women were just seething with jealousy and envy. And I was like, yikes. So bad, it just felt, I didn't even feel bad for them because of the way they reacted to the situation. Had they reacted differently, maybe I would have had 1 ounce of like respect or sympathy or empathy for them, but I didn't feel bad for them, not even in the kitchen. I felt even less for them by the end of the night. So during that whole kitchen scenario, Gyubin and Hyungju were just chatting up the storm, man. They were flirting hard. And I don't think it wasn't even serious flirting, they were just chatting and just being very friendly and everything. The girl is very receptive to anybody that talks to her. That's the thing. She's very receptive to anybody who she is with. And she just takes it in and I almost feel like she came here for a process and she's enjoying herself. Let her be. So during all that thing, obviously the other girls were being very snippy, snide. They were making some very weird comments, if I'm being honest. And I didn't want the situation where it to be 2 against 1. Now, when you go back into the room later on, it looks like Hyungju she could give 2 fucks what these girls think. And I love that for her because it's so easy for her to get isolated when the other 2 women don't even want to interact with her or are making these snide comments, this underhand, passive-aggressive compliments. They were doing a lot of that and it was just catty and bitchy and annoying. I didn't like it at all. But the girl could give 2 fucks. She seemed like, I think eventually if it goes on for too long, it will wear her down. But seeing that it was the first night, she was fine. She was doing her makeup while they were busy trying to gossip about her. And then when she came into the room, they were telling her things like, oh, you're like a baby, so pure, so innocent. In the grand scheme of things, they sound like compliments, but they were backhand compliments and these women were trying to tear down her confidence. And if that's how they're going to play, I hope they leave single. I said what I said. Simple as. During the dinner though, what's his name? Jaeho was like, he was saying some weird things. He has this dry, witty, quirky comedy. And what's her name? Hyunju was the only one who was actually laughing. She was laughing and enjoying it so much that Youngju made a comment even at the table. She was like, are you sure you're okay? And it's like, girl, don't let the nasty come out on day one. If you show everybody who you are now, how you gonna get picked? We keep the crazy for at least a month. You lock them in. By the time my husband saw my crazy, it was too late for him. He was done. I'm kidding, guys. I showed my husband my crazy day one, so that he knew what he was signing up for. Because I don't care. But my crazy is not spiteful, like tear down other people. I just don't like it. That's my problem. Like, I don't think everybody has to be a girls. We don't all have to get along, but you can be decent to other human beings. There was no reason whatsoever for these two girls to be so catty and try and tear down this other girl's self-confidence just because she was doing so well. It's okay to be jealous. It is. It's okay to be envious. We're human beings. But maybe think about putting your energy into being more appealing, or at least approaching the man that you are interested in. None of them approached the person that they were interested in. And then they're frustrated that the other girl is smiling, laughing her way around all the guys. It's like, do something before you're complaining. I just didn't like it. It really rubbed me the wrong way for these two girls, and I've kind of put them in a box for now. I'm not even kidding you guys, and you know how I am. You know how I am. It will take a lot for them to claw their way out of that box, but they've shown me who they are, and so now I have to treat them accordingly. It's that simple. And then comes time for the heart signals, text messages, and you know the hosts do their predictions. I could care less. So Youngju sent her message to Gyubin. So apparently that's where the cattiness began, because Gyubin was very much for Hyungju. Maybe I'll just call them YJ and JH. Maybe I'll do that. So YJ, Youngju, sent it to Gyubin. And he was very much for Hyungju from the very beginning when she came into the house. So I guess that's where her own envy and jealousy started from. Youngju, HJ, sent it to Gyubin as well. I thought maybe she would switch because I thought maybe she was feeling J-Ho, but she ended up sticking to the initial person, and I think that's who she was attracted to as well. Daeyoon sent it to J-Ho. We knew that she was attracted to him, but she didn't get off her ass long enough to go and talk to the guy or even approach him and say anything. So I'm like, what do you expect? I don't laugh so much. Then we see the guys. Do-gyun sent it to Hyunju. Gyumi sent it to Hyungju. J-Ho sent it to Hyungju. And at first I was like, he switched. But then I wasn't even mad at it because, again, she was the only one who was interacting throughout the entire night. She was the only one taking the initiative to talk to the guys. She was the only one receptive to the guys' jokes. A lot of things that the guys were saying, she was smiling at, you know. I was just like, yeah, you do you, both. If you're going to switch. He almost seemed like he regretted switching, though. Is it just me? Is it me? Do you guys remember? He seemed like he regretted switching. If you guys want to watch it along with me, please do so. I will be very glad because I know it will refresh your memory and you can make, you know, really informed comments now. Some of you remember scene for scene what happened, but if it's like me and I watched this thing years ago, I'll need to rewatch it again. But he did seem a little, almost like, not regret, but maybe sad that he switched, because I feel like he switched at the last minute. Anywho, they make them all sit together while they're receiving this text, and I was like, yikes! Way to break hearts upon hearts upon hearts. It's like, come on. These people are just trying to get a nut here. Why? That is vicious. That is vicious. I did enjoy the other two girls' discomfort though, knowing fully well that they didn't receive any text. I liked it. I mean, the bullying, the underhand bullying was just not for me. And I was like, yeah, get put in your place a little bit. I'm not even saying that Hyungju will end the whole show, you know, being the most popular. I don't think that's what will happen. But the girl was being herself. She wasn't faking anything. She wasn't forcing anything. We can tell. She was just being herself. And they just piled on her. Didn't like it, didn't respect it. So that it was pretty much the end of the episode. They do show that there's a new single and he goes into this locked room that everybody was trying to get into throughout the whole day. He has an interesting look about him. And it almost seems like he and Do-gyun might have beef, because in the future, in the clips for the next episode, he seems very like when Do-gyun is talking. I don't know if it's creative editing. I don't know what that is all about, but I'm very interested to find out. Do-gyun is kind of like top for me right now. Man has not even done anything. There's just something appealing about him. And I'm very interested to see his journey. But yeah, Hyungju is my baby. just because they bullied her. Honestly, I swear down. Because at first, I was rooting for Youngju. I really was. But now I switched. Hyungju is my baby. I always root for the underdog. So we'll see how that goes. I know there's probably going to be new There's probably going to be at least another girl and maybe at least another guy, but we'll see how it all goes. I think it's going to be fun. And even the hosts were like, ooh, they were calling out the BS, which I can appreciate. They seem to be clocking it with the girls. They were being nice about it, but they were clocking it, and I can appreciate that. But I'm still not listening to the host, guys. We're here for our own views. But anyways, let me know what you thought. I know I'm pretty sure a lot of you have finished the series. Let me know if it's going to be a wild ride. Let me know if I'm going to enjoy it. Let me know if you think I'll enjoy it. I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to go straight to Heart Signal 4, and we'll go from there. But yeah, like the video, subscribe, leave your comments, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!